This afternoon's hobby enhancement is a Christmas breakfast. I have a dilemma. Many years ago, back 2011-12 thereabouts, I built this terrain. These boards here, a bunch of hills to go with them. You've seen heaps on this channel. It's basically what I've been using rather than the bog standard old grass tables that we used to use yesteryear. Now, it's been treating me very well. It's gotten a bit grotty, needs a bit of patching up over time. But I only had 5 boards because I only had a 4-foot wide table. So I reconfigured my games room over the years to make more room here so I can fit a 6 by 8 foot table in this room just. That meant I was a board short, so I've been using stand-ins to cover the last 2 by 4 foot, usually an urban section. But I thought I wanted to have an 8 by 6 foot table which is completely grass flocked like that. But I knew colour matching was going to be a problem, so I got out the same paints. I got out the same stones, I got out the same bloody grass, so I colour matched it. Set up a 6th board and look at the fucking difference. That is not colour matched. Colour matching is impossible after a certain point, but this was even worse than I thought. And a significant part of why it's worse than I thought is the sheer volume of dust. Now, I've only had these boards here for a couple of months, but there's a bit of dust in the garage. And you can see the difference between the dusty sections and the non-dusty sections, as my son will now demonstrate. Give that bit of a rub. Look at that. That's only a couple of months worth of dust. You can imagine how bad it gets after about a dozen years. Oop, get the focal range right for that. There we go. So, what I would therefore have to do is clean up the rest of them to a point where they're vaguely close-ish to this board. I might clean up the water sections in this board, but I'm not going to bother with the rest of it because at the end of the day, the objective is not to make it all pristine, clean and keep it that way. It won't happen. The objective is to make it so that the dust on these catches up on the dust on those. Not an easy task because these are flocked. They're flocked from hither to thither, and if you just, well, depending on how you clean it, you can fuck it up basically. So I was thinking about how to do it. A friend of mine, Andrew, who you've heard on this channel a lot of times, you've seen his Empire Army recently, he suggested why not get a towel, get it damp, and dab the dust off of the boards. It's not a bad idea. I'm going to give that a go. I also thought while I'm at it, I've got this old car washing sponge, hasn't seen any use. I'll give that a go as well, see if that's any better or worse than a towel. At least when towels are done, you can chuck them in the washing machine. And if that doesn't work, baby wipes. Baby wipes clean fucking everything. And we're still riding on the leftover pile that we collected when our son was in need of baby wipes. Right. And the last option, I'm going to try this on a smaller piece. Let's take one of these bits, take it outside and put the hose on it. The only problem with that is the bottom side is card, because I didn't have a jigsaw when I built these. So yeah, the hose might be asking for more trouble than it's worth. We'll have a go if it comes to that. But the first thing I'm going to do is the towel, and we'll see how that works out. Alright, so here's a before section of table, and we'll have a go with the towel, see how it works. Get rid of any of the excess. Well, a little bit is coming up. That's pretty average actually. Let's try it with a bit more water. One of the things is if I make it too soggy, God knows what it'll do to the actual... this works a bit better. I don't know what it'll do to the grass though. Fortunately we have a lot of these towels because when you have children you need a shit ton of towels. Riveting stuff. I'm going to have to speed up the camera at some point. Okay. Let's see how it treats the grass. I don't want this process to take forever either, so we'll see how it goes. Well, you know, that's darkened it up some. That's not That's not complete crap actually. What I don't want to do is scrape it laterally. Probably alright on the boards actually, on the bits where there's no grass, but it's not going to work on the grassy bits. Okie dokie, now we'll try a new patch, the car washing sponge. Yeah, okay. It's not too bad. Not convinced it's better than a towel though. Alright, well, food for thought. I might stick with the towel and use the towel a bit damper in order to pick up the grit. Alright, well, that was worth a try. Okay, in a new section now, we'll try the baby wipes. Okay, that's enlightening and contrary to my lived experience of the last 8 or 9 years. Baby wipes are not doing much of a job at all. Ew, apart from pulling up the grass, that's not good. Okay, well, it looks like you need a lot more water in it. That seems to be the short answer. To my amazement, I found something that baby wipes are not that good at cleaning. Okay, so we're going to use my dodgy outside tap with the lovely background sounds of domestic bliss. And we're going to take this hill here and we're going to hose it down a bit and see if that achieves anything at all. If this turns out to be the easiest thing, this may be a good way to go. So we've got a pretty low water pressure. Well, okay, so far so good. So I'm going to have to leave it for a while after this, just to see what the result is after it dries, because that will change the situation as well. I should have brought a towel out to dry off the card backing. A bit more water pressure, see if that works any better. See, that's the colour it originally was. I don't know if it's going to dry that colour. Part of the reason I'm doing this is because I've got on my list of shit to do this calendar year a whole lot of chaos terrain for which I've already bought all the skulls and all the other materials I need, and that's going to take a while to build, and I want to make sure it's worth the fuss with the colour matching. So it did occur to me while I was hosing this down that maybe I should have brought a fucking towel out, get rid of the surplus moisture. Now that most of this thing is foam, that's fine, and it's a water-based paint designed for outdoor use, that's fine. And you can see the card underlay has got a bit damp. That would have been less of a problem if I was more disciplined in how I was going about this. Now we'll see what it's like when it dries, because when it dries it may change hue somewhat. But you can see now the difference in tone between the freshly cleaned section and the dusty section. Now this grass is going to take a while to dry, right? That's going to lighten up, I hope. If it doesn't, I may just have to accept that as the new normal, but if it all looks the same, who cares? Now if we put it here, look at that. The difference in tone is so much less jarring. Here, jarring, let's put that there for proper comparison. Yeah, that's a good section. Right, so jarring, different colours, jarring. Yeah, mostly just a different colour of green, which is much less of an issue. Although I suspect that if I hose off of this board, then I'll have the same situation with the grass darkening down. So I might be able to solve the consistency problem by vandalising the new board with water damage. The colour matching is much closer. We will leave it all to dry, and I'll film some more once we have a finished product, and we'll see if that difference in colour tone stays the same or if it all lightens up after the water dries away. So after some faffing about, I found out that taking these things out the back and running the hose over them was the best way of cleaning them up. It's not perfect way of cleaning them up, and you can see that this board here, a lot less dusty than it was. And here's one of the hills, similarly cleaned up. Still not quite the same as the other board, but I'm starting to think that's more to do with the flock at this point. Some of the intensity of the white on these has rubbed off. The brown's faded a bit. Now, running the hose over the terrain, we can see the difference between the two boards here, right? The one on the left is one of the old boards which are hosed off, the one on the right is the new board. Running the hose got a fair bit of grit off, but not all of it, because some of the grime's actually quite dug in. But that is certainly an improvement over what it was. And to give you an idea of how much of an improvement it is over what it was, here's two of the dustiest boards, hills, that I had previously. Now I fielded this board in a game just recently, and you can see the difference in just how grotty that is compared to the table underneath. And in fact, one of the things that has occurred to me with the colour matching is I was colour matching this colour of green against what I had in a bag, and I came up with a lighter colour than what it actually should be, because this stuff here was so dusty that is actually coming out as a lighter colour. I actually didn't colour match, I got the wrong one, which now has me wondering, do I do all of my boards in a lighter green? Because actually these boards are getting a bit threadbare, as it turns out. Running the hose off of it actually got rid of a lot of loose pieces that weren't really glued anymore. They were just sitting there in amongst the dust. So the boards are a bit threadbare compared to what they used to be. So it might be a good idea to go back and touch up the flock, but that's a huge job and I won't cover it in this video. But the remarkable thing for me, if we take this hill for example, try and get a shot without so much glare. That is the difference that we got from cleaning it up. You can see it pretty clearly there. Two completely different tones of brown. So there we go. I'll stop my ranting about colour matching at this point. If nothing else, I've got my old boards and given them a new lease on life, and then I can come back and do some flock as a separate job another day. That's enough for now. So do feel free to hit like, subscribe, and I've got other terrain videos that I've done, or the thing will be popping up any minute now, so feel free to click on one of those. If you watch another video after the first one, it tells the algorithm that actually this one's worth pushing, and more people will get to see it. But anyway, for now, time to call it a day.